Hey babes, and welcome back to another episode of Slay and Pray with me, your girl, Melissa Renee. Okay, babe, so today we are continuing our series of the women of the Bible. Today we'll be talking about Rebekah, okay? Now we can find Rebekah in Genesis 24 through 28, okay? So let's hop into the story. Babes, remember to like, comment, and to subscribe to my channel so that you guys do not miss what God is doing through this channel. So we meet Rebekah in Genesis chapter 24, and this is when Abraham sends his servant to find Isaac a wife, right? And his servant sees Rebekah and asks her for some water, right? And they get to chatting, and he finds out that this is the one, basically. And long story short, he goes back to the house with her or whatever, meets the family. So basically, he lets them know that he wants Rebekah for Isaac, right? And the family's kind of hesitant about it or whatever. So they asked Rebekah if she'll go back with this man, and she said, I'll go. So that's how Rebekah comes into play, okay? So they go back. She marries Isaac, and now we can get into the full story of Rebekah, okay? So, Rebekah is very important. She's a famous woman of the Bible, okay? Now, she plays a a interesting part in the Bible, okay? Yes, Rebekah is a woman of faith. Yes, she believes in God. She loves God. She serves God. But she also like many of us, took matters into her own hands to try to make a promise of God come to pass in her own way. Because I guess she couldn't see what God was going to do and how he was going to do it. Don't act like you ain't never been there, girl. I'm sure you have. So yes. So first of all, it took faith for Rebekah to get up, leave her family, and go to a land that she did not know, to marry a man that she had never met. Okay, so that shows faith right there in God. She trusted him and believed him that this is what she was supposed to be doing, right? That this was the man for her. Okay, now when Rebekah and Isaac got married, they were not able to have children right away. So Isaac went to the Lord and prayed on behalf of his wife, asking God for her to get pregnant. And of course, lo and behold, Rebekah became pregnant, okay? Now, she became pregnant with twins. And while she was pregnant, they wrestled and tussled inside of her body, right? So in Genesis 25, verse 22, it says, why is this happening to me? So she went to inquire of the Lord. The Lord said to her, two nations are in your womb, and two people from within you will be separated. One person will be stronger than the other, and the other will serve the younger. Okay? Now, a lot of times when we get prophecies from God, we think that they are just going to automatically come to pass. Like there's no time frame. When God said it, it's going to be done immediately. And that's not how prophecy or God works. Okay? Things take time. Sometimes they take 20 years. Sometimes they take 45 years. Sometimes they take a year. Sometimes it less than that. But again, it's all in God's timing. Okay? So, yes. Okay, so when the time came for Isaac to bless the older one, which is Esau, with his birthright, Rebekah decided to take things into her own hands, right? Remember the prophecy that God gave her, that the older was going to serve the younger, okay? And the youngest one is Jacob. And so she figured, like, how is Esau going to serve Jacob if Esau gets his birthright from his father? So she decided to come up with their own plot to get Jacob to take the birthright away from Esau. Okay, so she was a sneaky little devil, wasn't she? Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. So instead of trusting the Lord, Rebekah took things into her own hands to make sure that the older would serve the younger. Okay. Now, when God says something, we have to trust that he knows what he is doing. Had Rebecca just sat back like, God got this, I don't have to worry, I don't have to stress out, I don't have to, it's not in my hands, God got this, things would have turned out a lot different. Okay. But I'm sure she ain't the only one who has done that, because I have. Okay. Rebecca doing this made Esau want to kill Jacob. Okay. And so she told Jacob to escape, to run away, because this was going to save him from his brother, because he was going to kill him. So she told him to leave. Don't come back until your brother's anger has faded. And so Jacob left. Okay, so let me remind you that Esau was Isaac's favorite, and Jacob was Rebekah's favorite. So by Rebekah taking this into her own hands and trying to make things happen, she lost her son. Jacob left, and she never saw him again. Like, in some situations, we think that we are doing what's best for ourselves, best for our family, best for our children. But if we don't wait on God, if we don't trust him to make a way to work things out the way that he said he would, we could end up putting ourselves in a situation that we don't want to be in. I'm pretty sure that Rebekah did not want to lose Jacob completely, but she did. She did. So let it be a lesson to you to allow God to do what he said he's going to do in his way, in his timing. Okay? When he's ready. When he knows that you're ready. A lot of things don't happen when we want them to, because we're not ready, because we haven't completely submitted ourselves to God and in his word for those things to come to pass. A lot of times, God is requiring something of us in order to give us what he has promised. Okay. It's not, oh, hey, I'm going to do this for you, and poof, it's there. No, it's like, I'm going to give you this. But in order to get this, I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you to spend time with me. I'm going to need you to get rid of those friends. I'm going to need you to do this. I'm going to need you to do that. And we have to be willing to submit ourselves to those things in order for that promise to come to pass. Okay? Because I've heard, who was that? Jackie Green, windows move. Okay? Remember that. So yeah, let's get back into the story. So God has a way of working out our bad mistakes for his good, right? And that's what happened here. Everything worked out the way that God had planned for them to in the end, right? But we have to trust God to do that, okay? We cannot take matters into our own hands. And by doing this again, Rebekah lost her son, her favorite son, and the two nations were at odds for centuries, okay? Now, again, Rebekah was a woman of God. She was a woman of faith, okay? She did lack trust that God's plan was going to come to pass, or she didn't see how it was going to come to pass. She wanted things to work out the way that she felt it as they should. And many times we do that ourselves. I know I do. I know that I have taken matters into my own hands and then realized, like, crap, I shouldn't have did that. I should have just waited on God and trusted in God, and maybe things would be different in my life. Okay. So remember, let this be a lesson to you that God takes imperfect people and uses us for his good. Okay, even if we make bad decisions, if we make mistakes, if we don't do things according to God, he does have a way of working them out for not only his good, but for our good. He loves you no matter what. He loves you. Obviously, he wants us to trust in him. He wants us to believe in him. He wants us to have faith in him, and he wants us to not to wait on him. Most importantly, he wants us to wait on him. He wants us to wait on him. Learn how to wait. We have to learn how to wait patiently without complaining, without stressing, without worrying, without all of the extra crap that we put on ourselves in the waiting season. That's all Rebekah had to do was wait. This story shows faith, lack of trust. It shows God still using imperfect people. And that's what we all are. We are imperfect people. And this is just a reminder that no matter what, God will use you. God can use you. God still will use you, no matter your past, no matter what your present even is. Like, God still is going to use you. He still can. All we have to do is be willing vessels. Like, here I am, Lord. Use me, Lord. And yeah, that's all God. All God needs is your yes. All he needs is your yes. And I'm telling you, when you give God your sincere and true yes, your life is going to change in ways that you never saw possible. Trust me. Trust me. Everything that I am doing right now is things that I never thought that I would be doing. Okay? Give God your yes. And remember that your past does not determine your future. Okay. So yeah, this was not a very long story. It was short and sweet, straight to the point. God still used Rebekah. God will still use you. And yeah, I hope that that you learned something from Rebekah, that you can take something away from her story and know that uh, that God is going to use you still. Yeah, so that's all I got for y'all today, babes. I will see y'all next time. Bye, babes.